It was around the time you come in, and I heard 4 gunshots. And I was like, oh man, he got shot. He's in the street. He got robbed.
He did. Oh, well.
What?
Oh boy.
Thank God we're streaming. Are we recording this yet?
Hello, everyone.
My baby.
I think I'm starting with that.
Yeah.
Ah.
Bang, bang, my baby.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the YouTube Editor's Perspective Podcast, episode
Russell, DA, Russell.
66. There we go. That's a start.
Yeah.
Start with gunfire.
How can you still be
How are
sick?
you?
It might be hospital time for you, kid.
He's not even there yet. Wait, why is it hospital time for DA?
I've been working this whole week with this sickness. I'm not. Come on. Who do you think I am?
Old, like, what symptoms?
DA?
We're finally
What
set up.
happened?
Is he there now?
Yeah.
Can you hear us, DA?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's supposed to be Neo and dodge the 4 gunshots.
So that was just no search party or anything. Just like, oh, he's
I looked
gone.
out the
I'm
front
not going out
door.
there.
I looked out the front door. Does that count?
Whatever. He gone. We
I
all
didn't-
knew
I didn't-
it.
I
We
didn't-
all knew this day was coming.
I didn't even go all the way out the front door. I just like
Jesus.
fixed my hand.
Just like once to the right, once to the left. Oh, no.
Why would you be to the right? I just looked to the left. I looked out there for like 2 minutes.
He just, like, closed his door, and he's like, and all the awards are mine.
He's like,
Finally throw away that stupid Octavia.
he's like, I can throw away all the My Little Pony posters.
I
I'm
was
burning it in his honor. He's having a Viking funeral.
I would literally just bury that with you.
Wow.
I want no part of it.
I see. You should keep it in solidarity.
Okay,
You should learn to like it.
It's gonna be
my memory.
it's gonna
No,
be
keep it in solidarity in your fireplace.
You should learn to like it in my memory and go around spreading the word of rarity.
no.
All right.
In a pile of ash.
Well, I'm alive this time.
You see, me and Mike, were thinking that you were stuck in a freezer with Dodoria.
And we're moving past that. What are oh yeah, the picture.
Just to make him cringe.
Oh, yeah, I want to see this picture that BG laughed at, like, hysterically.
When BG laughs at something, it's got to be worth something.
Is this in Detroit? Please tell me.
I don't know. I just saw it on Twitter.
What?
BG, wrong image.
What?
Wrong chat. I can't see it.
I don't have it in the chat. I have it in the
Oh, the live stream?
There.
Link me.
There you go. Garage sale.
Oh, it's garage.
Garage.
Loading video.
Oh, okay, actually,
Sale.
speaking of just... I'm assuming as black things. You know what happens when you assume people? You make an ass out of you and me. So I'm guessing you guys have seen the whole
Detroit.
thing with the 3 girls in Cleveland.
Yeah. That guy who saved the girls who were apparently held in that basement for the past decade.
Yeah. Did you guys see that,
I
BGDA?
heard of it. I didn't see it.
So, have you seen this dude's interview?
Yes.
I
got a paycheck.
refuse to.
I got a paycheck.
How,
Give them the reward money. You see this? I got a paycheck.
But the guy, the guy's awesome. But, he has one of those interviews is, as soon as you watch it, you're just like, that's going to be an auto-tune the news in about 3 days. It took 2. 2 days, and there's a remix. And, the remix is actually even rhymed in the remix. It was just I'm just you gotta be fucking shitting me. Actually made this a legit song with lyrics. But, the beginning is just I was sitting there eating my McDonald's. I'm like, oh, God.
Here it comes.
And apparently McDonald's, because of this interview, is now giving him free McDonald's for life.
Yep.
But actually, just I guess to explain the story, there was these 3 girls all around the same area that got kidnapped. The most latest, I think it was about 14 years ago, and have been missing for, over a decade. I think save one was 9 years. they got found, and this dude, like one of the girls that was like chained in the basement, like managed to get to the front door, wedge it open a little bit, and scream. This dude came over, kicked the door in, and they called 911, and they're free now after 10 years. And this dude, like, picture the I was climbing in your windows, snatching your people up interview. That's what this interview was. Ain't nobody got time for that. One of those interviews.
Just classic
And,
stoic black people, and one of those interviews.
I refuse
Yeah.
to watch
I got a paycheck. You get the reward money to them.
But I mean, but in all honesty, the guy's actually really cool. Like there was a $2,000 or $20,000 reward for finding them. He gave the money to the victims, and just he's doing a whole lot of good things. But just, I think the best line of that interview is like, you know, something's up when a little pretty white girl runs into a black man's arms. So it's like,
Oh yeah, when he said that, even the people that were interviewing him were like,
We need to
oh.
restrict white people stuff.
Really, 'cause this is just a degradation. This is ridiculous.
It's just getting. The problem is they don't have to search anywhere for this crap.
At all.
It's just there.
Just put a microphone in a black guy's face and it's just, oh lordy, I done seen some things. Great googly
Yep.
googly.
Yep.
Jesus, man, it's disgusting.
Yes, it is.
But yeah. So, DA, any work stories from this cancer of a work week for you?
He does not look happy.
Dude, I'm just so sick, and we have this thing called river walks.
Oh no, Riverwalk is going on right now. Ooh.
Oh, I know Riverwalk. I know what that is.
What is this?
And on top of that, I have to train a new employee for closing.
But they last for like
And
2
he
months.
is retarded.
It can't be that bad, dude.
Dude.
Yes, it can. I know for a fact training new people can be really awful, especially during a busy period. And if Riverwalk is as bad as I've heard, he must be hating himself right now.
5 things go on a cheeseburger: the bread, the burger,
I can tell.
pickles, ketchup, and mustard. 6 things. You don't know how can you mess up 6 things? 3 condiments. It's the easiest thing we have. How do you put lettuce on a cheeseburger? How do you? This man put tartar sauce on a chicken sandwich. I went up to the manager. I said, "This guy is untrainable."
Wow. Tartar sauce on a... Wow.
So I have to deal with that.
Can you imagine the person like gets there like, oh sweet, they just bite in like, the fuck?
What am I eating?
So I have to deal with that. It being really busy.
And you being super
Me
sick.
being super sick. Dealing with. Because
I have heard you say Super Saiyan. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm the best person there. There's no doubt there. So they put people around me to like hopefully that they'll sponge off my greatness. So I'm working with like 2 people in the back and they're terrible. So I have to stay on the board. I have to close. I'm super sick. I have to deal with these stupid people. I'm not doing the best right now.
I feel ya.
You're like my buddy Mike at the deli. Really, my buddy Mike's the same way. He's the one who does the most work and is the most responsible at his job. But everyone else will just fuck around and let's leave the work to him.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
That's Mike. That's exactly. I completely understand what you're saying because I've seen him deal with it. I'm on the opposite end of that spectrum. I do my work and nothing else but my work. Anybody else's work, and no.
I have to do everyone's work since I'm the closer. They put everything off on me, so I'm doing 12 hours worth of cleanup.
Yeah, well, I'm also the guy who got fired for just having an argument with the son of the owner. That was fun.
Wait, you got...
I got fired. Yeah.
Apparently, you don't got that deli swag.
No, I'm sorry. I have way too much. Again, I'm not the most calm person as of late, but I've done well at this place and I hate this place because all the management at my job, or my past job, except for my immediate boss, Bill, who's the deli boss. Everyone there who's just a bunch of pricks. The people who own the place, people who run the place, a bunch of pricks. And the son of the owner is one of those silver, born with a silver spoon in his mouth type kids.
Hate
Never has
those
struggled
people.
for anything, and he thinks he's king shit. So
King
a
shit.
woman made a small complaint about nothing, and he comes over. He's going off the handle. He's just losing his shit completely, and he's just bitch fitting at my boss. And I'm just like, oh my god, are you gonna stop? So he brings it over towards where I'm working, and I'm like, yeah, no, that was me. The woman's complaining about nothing. She didn't do anything. Nothing was done wrong. Whatever she said was bullshit. He's like, I don't like your attitude. It's people like you that fuck this place up. He's just bitch fitting. I'm like, listen, no, that's not what happened. You need to chill out and stop freaking raging out here because it's just really stupid. He's like, I like your attitude. Get out of here. And I'm like, how? I'm like, what? He's like, that's the problem with this place. There's no respect. And I'm like, how about you respect your employees? And you get respect, you little prick. And, fired.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't even feel bad because I'm vindicated in my own way because I did what I thought was right. I didn't. I can't stand people like that. It gets under my skin.
I know what you mean. Self-entitled people that just.
If you were given everything in your life, you have no reason to act like you deserve. Like you're better than anyone else.
Yeah.
You're not.
Sorry.
I mean, in a way,
Yes, Mike.
I don't want to like
saying.
see this is the thing. I'm like agreeing with you just because like I don't want to sound like him, this dude. In a way, I was
Just
provided for. I guess is like the best way to put it.
One
But-
of us has been on the biggest boat in the world. I wonder who it was.
Yeah.
I've yet to be on the Detroit Princess.
Dude, I haven't been on the ocean, nothing.
Same here.
I've seen water. That's it.
No, we were polar bears at camp.
Oh, that was terrible. You might have been molested.
wait.
No, we weren't. But
Wait.
that cloud thing, dude.
You guys are mentioning things that I think are stories that should be told.
No, they don't need to be told. They
I
were
heard
pretty much told right
molestation, polar bear, and clown.
We went to
Bring it.
we went to this Bible 1 week sort of
there. Yeah,
Oh.
camp, which was terrible.
dude, awful. And we were polar bears, which means you had to wake up before everybody else and get in the ice cold water at like 6 a.m.
People do that for fun.
Yeah.
That's a
It's
thing
funny.
in New York. It's the Polar Bear Society. They go for swimming in the East River and the Hudson River during the winter.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's funny because they're black and polar bears are white.
I honestly didn't either.
I didn't even put that together until Mike said it. I'm not gonna lie.
Niggers.
So, yeah, that
So does that make them black bears?
Anyway,
They're
the
mutts.
clown thing.
They're mutts, I guess.
One
Go ahead.
of the counselors told a story. No, all the counselors told the story of this clown that would get you at night if you got out of bed. So a lot of kids would pee their bed because they were so afraid to go
yeah.
to this like
Wow.
trough we
Yeah,
had.
like I said, I think we were molested.
We were,
honestly. That camp was because at the beginning of the camp, he was like, "Hey, well, welcome. I hope you have a good time." And I have a feeling that someone is going to die this week. Have a good time, and he walks away. And like in the middle of a camp, these alarm sounds, and it's like, "Everyone, come to the bridge!" And we look over the bridge, and there's someone like laying there in like a puddle of blood, and they're all twisted, and we're like, "Someone's dead!" And it's like, and it was like this murder mystery church Bible clown rapist weekend thing.
Bible clown rapist. Those are the words that stuck out there. Bible clown rapist. That's an interesting story.
We were just like, I'm like, I don't remember most of the weekend. Like I said,
That's like saying
something
like that whole
happened.
thing. It's just like, oh,
Something
somebody's
happened.
going.
But you got a bad memory, so I remember most of that
I remember
weekend.
the bridge thing. 'Cause I'm like, oh, can we leave now? Somebody's dead. Because we were like, what were we, like 10, 11?
It was around that age.
So I'm
yeah.
like, someone is freaking dead here. I don't want to stay here anymore. It's like, all right, everyone back to camp. And then we would sing in the middle of the night. And then, do you remember the food? I don't remember eating.
Yeah, I remember if the last troop that was there for breakfast, they'd have to walk around the entire place singing that shaving cream song.
Oh, I hated that song.
And you'd have to do it like 3 times,
But
and you'd have to go in.
I don't remember eating.
I remember eating.
I remember.
I
I,
just don't-
remember the shirtless football.
I just don't remember if
thing.
I just
Wait,
don't remember
wait. What?
shirts and skins for football.
In a camp-based environment. So that's where DA got his origins.
I
remember eating.
We were there for like a week, and I don't remember eating once.
I remember eating. I just don't remember
Oh,
how
right
the
over.
food was.
I don't remember eating. I remember we were in separate camps.
Yes, we were. Because there was like an age cutoff or something.
Yeah.
The comp bros separated.
I'm not gonna lie though. I can understand what you're saying though, because I was at a camp for about a week when I was in middle school. We went to upstate to Camp Moriah, and I don't remember anything about the food. I know I must have eaten, but I don't remember any of the food.
You don't remember eating
No.
with that "Lean on Me" song, right? They were playing and doing karaoke for.
No. I remember
Dude.
a lot. I remember a lot and a little at the same time. I remember doing things, but I don't remember finishing them. I don't remember the end of the football game. I don't remember like what happened
what she
after
said.
the freaking the bridge thing. I remember
a lot from that camp.
I don't remember eating.
Yeah, I went to like in 5th grade. I went to Mohican, which is like a campgrounds like in northern Ohio. Yeah, I didn't really have any of that molesting clown business that you guys had. I do remember the food I ate too.
You do?
Yeah, I remember like some of the breakfasts.
Yeah.
I remember specifically just because there was a contest if we didn't waste it like any food that like we would have like bonus recess or something.
You don't-
So I remember
The only
that.
thing I remember from my camp trip was holding an anaconda head, getting to have an eagle on my arm, going hiking, blindfolded, and my mom getting bit by a tick. That was all. That's basically all I remember.
The biggest thing I remember is that was the first time I saw the natural night sky without any unnatural light,
Really?
which was awesome.
I guess I had some before because of my treks from New York to Florida. I had a lot of road in Georgia where there's no lights anywhere for long periods of time.
Yeah, pretty much we just like walked into the middle of the woods without like any flashlights, and then you just could see like a band of the Milky Way, and it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know. It really is beautiful.
But I just wanted to go back to just like what that DA said, just like just like, oh, happy fun time. Somebody might die, like, and just walks away, like.
This is at my camp too.
Like, that's like some of the worst. That's one of the worst things you could do to a person. Just like have like a happy thing or like something, and then just like throw a curveball at them like that.
Absolutely.
Like that's like one of those, like you said, like you would like go into the frozen water. It's just like, oh, we're gonna go in the frozen water. In 1 in 5 chance you might have hypothermia, and just walk away.
There were like really
like-
sharp, jagged rocks at the bottom of the water.
I think they tried to
Oh,
cordon
God.
off that area
You proceed.
so we'd only be with the sand, but it was not good.
I remember
But I actually went
everything and
to.
nothing about that camp.
I remember a ton of things.
So that actually, you guys are saying it was a Bible camp or whatever. I remember for 2, I guess a week and a half, those 2 summers, I went to vacation Bible school.
Ugh.
The first year was actually kind of fun because, like, since I guess I was under the like teen age group,
Mhm.
they just did songs and we played like kickball and stuff. So I was like, okay, this is cool. And then the next year is when they I went for 2 days and just like, all right, we're going to sit down, read verses of the Bible, and watch VeggieTales. I'm just like, fuck this shit. I'm gonna go home and play video games.
Them Bible people are, ugh. They sure will just beat that into children.
Yeah, because they're impressionable at that age.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Not, that's the best time to do it.
Exactly. All right, so yeah, wow, that was quite a little segue.
That's an intro into the mind of comp bros.
Yeah, that was a good little story though. That was
Yes,
fun.
with
We haven't had like a
with
good
the,
like side
with
story
the
in a long
destructive
time.
clown attack. Yeah.
I'm sure we
Yeah.
can dig up some more terrible stories similar to that.
Terrible, dude.
We could talk quite
Yeah.
a while about this camp thing because me and BG have like not brought it up since then.
Oh yeah, we haven't brought it up
Like
to
I
each
said, I
other.
think something happened at that camp.
I remember.
We have literally never talked about this camp.
Yeah, but it's awful. Like,
Yeah, but it was like a week.
Yeah, it's just like I've never felt the same since that week.
As kids, that's like a month. And that was during summer, so what was it? I can't remember.
no, it was during summer because we were with grandma and dad.
Yeah. So we need to have a conversation about this.
I think DA found a body.
Dude, you just have bad memory.
But I remember it all.
No, you remember parts. I remember a ton.
I remember a ton as well. I've been spouting them out.
You remember like 3 select
I
things.
everything about. I remember.
You don't
everything about the
remember
body.
eating.
I'm like,
You don't remember eating.
I was seeing no one was drinking. I'm like, what is this? Can we let's leave?
Like I'm like just,
I remember-
I don't think I've ever had anything this traumatizing besides a life-threatening illness.
I remember the end of the end of it, and it was like, hey, he's fine now. And he came out and he had his same tattered clothes on with the blood. And he's just like, I'm fine. It was all a joke. And he was like, and here's the clown. And the clown came out, and we were like, bye everyone. And we were like, why would you do that?
Wasn't there
Praise
like,
Christ.
wasn't there like a costume hanging like near the woods?
I think there was.
Really?
I remember.
Some precursor to Slender.
You guys just brought back a very unfortunate memory now that I think about it.
Oh
Just
god,
'cause-
this is gonna be good.
Bible clown.
Hold on, hold on
It's
one
not really
second, though. You don't
unfortunate.
remember going to the girls' camp though?
I remember going to the girls' camp.
And theirs was so much better.
I remember I had 2 really good friends there,
I had like 5.
and we. Thanks for making me feel bad about myself.
I almost killed a kid though. I DDT'd him and he laid it dead on his head.
Jesus.
I'm not surprised. I am genuinely not shocked.
Well, we kind of
just
snuck
like-
over there.
Slap the back, bam.
I DDT'd a
Out
kid and
cold.
almost killed him. There we go.
So that was the dead body.
Really.
Oh, okay, guys. BG didn't murder me. What? Nothing.
But so going to my like story that I just recalled. So this is actually in my brief stint in a fraternity at college.
Oh, dude.
Very brief
Wait, you
stint.
really? Are you trying to join one?
I was in a fraternity for a little
Yeah,
while.
all right.
Yeah, I was in Pi Kappa Alpha, or Pike, and I was going to this. What was it? I think it was like a Relay for Life thing. It was like some kind of charity event. And I was like going. It was like the first day was like in the night, and I think like I either was studying or something the day before, so I was going to go the next morning. And I go to the building that I was supposed to be at, empty. I was like, okay. So I go into the other building, and there's these kids that are gathered around this clown, and he's just like doing this like balloon thing where it's just like, oh, he keeps letting go of the balloon, he keeps letting go of the balloon, and he's just talking. He's like, but it's a lot like this balloon. Jesus, I'm like, oh god.
Oh no, they got us.
It's like a
They
case
just-
Sucker to
body.
see.
They just locked the doors.
That's the weirdest segue I think I've ever heard about
Like
Jesus.
this.
It wasn't
Go
like
out.
it wasn't exactly like that, but it was like
Giant
something
cross
similar.
just to see
Like,
us
just
from
like
the ceiling.
so out there. I'm just like, you gotta be
You
kidding
know what's
me.
like this balloon? Jesus. What? What?
And he like was like trying to relate like the deflating balloon to sin, and I'm just like get me the hell out of here. Where's the accent?
It's like, I gotta go right now. Gotta go.
Just like where the hell? Like at this point, I'm just like, where's my fraternity? And give me a beer. What did I just see? Like, oh god. But yeah, like it was. It's like it took a while to click, but once you said like Bible and clown, I'm like, oh god. I'd forgotten
I think
about
we
that.
all just the camps.
All right, can we get away from the traumatizing Jesus camp things? I just posted a link here that I want you guys to check out. So apparently, the Mars expedition to colonize Mars,
Mars go.
80,000 applicants, and they're set to actually land in Mars in 2023. It's actually a go. It's a
Nice.
functioning project. It's
Mars One. Mars One
Yeah.
is the project name.
this is
That's
this is
pretty
actually
awesome.
happening.
I'm pumped.
They're actually colonizing Mars.
Yeah, I think from what I saw because like I saw that
But the catch to this is there's a big
They don't come
catch.
back.
You can never leave.
Yeah, I was gonna say it is
It's
a one-way trip.
permanent colonization.
But I mean, they have 80,000 applicants, so I mean, there's people willing. But yeah, from what I saw, I think they were going to send like 4 to 6 people to start, where they set up the base, set up a farm, just
Yeah.
because you got to eat, and then I think they send 2 people every year after.
Oh my God! Look at this applicant. I love thrills, says one U.S. applicant named Katie. I've been working at an amusement park for a few years, so that's pretty much one of my favorite things. So you're working at an amusement park, and so you love that kind of thrill. So you want to leave your planet and go colonize a dead world with no chance of help anywhere for the thrill.
Extreme. It's like a giant roller
That's one of
coaster,
the
right?
worst reasons I've ever heard.
It's like a giant roller coaster, right? I mean, it's just whee for a few months, and you get to Mars, right over, forever. I'm just curious though if they're gonna try to send like doctors and stuff, because I mean, if you send guys and dudes, or guys and dudes, guys and women, I mean, naturally, sexual frustrations will arise, and I'm assuming
Well,
there's probably going
they're
to be.
probably. I think they're setting up in couples ahead of time.
Mm.
But like, they've already set up how they're going to deal with the dead already too. This is how they deal with the dead. It's a memorial service and cremation ceremony. That's it. There's no burials. So if you're going up there, you can't have a problem with being cremated and. Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, because they've got nowhere to
That's
put the
pretty.
dead, and you can't bury it with no real
Yeah.
gravity. Yeah.
Mhm.
The group needs $6 billion to put up 4 people on Mars. Definitely seems to hurdle more. Funding through a number of channels, including.
No dead people
Hey,
on,
how
on a
about them
dead planet.
editing topics?
Well, this is an interesting topic.
Actually-
Come on, you got to give it that.
Yeah, but like
I-
you spent like 30 minutes on non-editing stuff.
Yeah, I know, but
That's fine.
that's all right. Well, that was
Actually, I wanted to. Did I ever? Just because I briefly just mentioned it a while ago, I'm not. I forget if I did. Did I ever mention the disease I had when I was young on the
Nope.
podcast?
You talked to me about it a long time ago, but you never mentioned it on a podcast.
I figure since we're telling
Yeah,
stories,
go for it.
I was because like I don't. I was just saying for DA, I don't think I had anything as traumatizing apparently as this camp trip, except for this disease that I had when I was younger, which actually they just talked about on whatchamacallit, House or not House, Grey's Anatomy medical show, which gets a lot of notice, so it's cool. But it is the disease. The disease is called Kawasaki syndrome, like the motor company.
Oh, I know it. Yeah, right.
It's a heart virus that you can it's only like in small children usually, and you get it from stagnant water, which I was kind of pissed. John Travolta's kid had it and died from it, and his mother was saying how cleaning products in carpet cleaners were the cause, and it's just like no, idiot, you're misinformed. It is the stagnant water left over from carpet cleaning. But so yeah, you get it. It seems like it's like strep or something, and it just keeps getting worse and worse. And you have to catch it early, otherwise you pretty much are boned. They caught it early for me. My doctor at the time was just like, my mom took me to him. She's like, yeah, he had strep for a while, and it seems like it's not going away. And my doctor's like, you get him to the hospital, and they diagnosed me. And one of the couple of the unfortunate side effects was just like swelling of the lymph nodes, which I didn't really notice. I was 4. But all of my nerves, pain especially, became hypersensitive. So I couldn't stand. Like, if any pressure was put onto my feet, just pain would shoot up my legs and they would immediately give out. So I was just in a bed and in a wheelchair if I had to, like, wanted to get around. And one of the things that they had to do for checking how the disease was progressing and or how my recovery was they had to take blood samples from, like, forearm. Just being 4 and having a needle stuck in you when your nerves are like, okay, let's amp things up times 100. Sucks.
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like to this day, like getting an IV like in my forearm is kind of a phobia of mine. I had to when I had to do that for my surgery for my second butthole, as I call it. My like I almost passed out from the IV just because
I can't stand needles either.
I was just like literally like they brought the bag and I was just like. So I mean, just like that's just like putting fluids in you. Getting blood drawn would probably be a whole other thing for me. But
I actually have a natural fear. When I was younger, I didn't, but as I grew older, I just became perpetually afraid of needles, and I can't. I went to have blood drawn, and you've no idea how hard I was freaking out.
Yeah. Apparently, I have good veins, so I guess if it happens in the future, I shouldn't have a problem. But anyways, but like I was in like one of the main things
pouring out, just cascading out
freely, just overwhelmingly.
Thank you.
I had to get stabbed like 13 times as a child to get a blood vessel in my arm. It kept moving and you gotta relax your arm.
My mom is like that. She has small veins, and they prod her a lot in order to actually get the freaking needle in. But anyways, continuing my story. So I mean, one of the things like the like things that can happen was my heart rate could not accelerate. I had to keep an even heart rate just so the disease would not spread. Essentially, just because it pretty much the disease was through my bloodstream. So the blood pumps faster, the more the disease spreads. And I remember there's one point where I woke up like in the middle of the night and just my mom literally stayed in the hotel with me just because the event almost pretty much traumatized her for like a few years. But she stayed in the hotel with me. She slept in just a chair. And she went to go get food. Like the food court was closed. She went downstairs to the food court was closed. She had to like walk to the opposite side of the hospital to go to a vending machine just to get a snack. And like from what she explained to me, like I woke up and like the room was dark, nobody was there, so I immediately started crying. And my like mom said she in the elevator coming up, the door opens, she hears me crying, and she sees 2 nurses that are just talking to himself. She threw a bitch fit.
That's a mother's first reaction and stuff.
Yeah, just like she's like, it's like I don't think my mom doesn't use the F word, but she's more or less she's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? He's crying, like blah 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 blah, and she got really pissed. But after a while, like I had to take like something around like 36 aspirin a day while I was in the hospital too, child's aspirin.
How long did this last? I forget.
It was like 2 weeks in the hospital, and then I got cleared for the hospital. However, I had I think like another 2 weeks to a month of
rehabilitation.
Like I guess.
Or is it outpatient?
Kind of like outpatient, where I could not my heart rate could not increase, so I could not get excited, I could not get upset for about a month.
So you were out of school this entire time then?
Yeah, I think it was in the summer. I was 4, so.
Oh, you were 4, right? I thought it was when you were older for a little bit.
But actually, one of the things my mom said, like, I was like, I still, I guess, hadn't walked since like when they drove me home, and like mom carried me in and like sat me down on the couch or something, and I just went, oh, I have to go to the bathroom, so I just just me being poor, like yes, I got up, I walked to the bathroom and was standing and peeing, and mom said she came and she's like, Mikey, she like went to the bathroom and she saw me standing up, she's like, yay, and I'm like, what?
What?
I'm like pissing at the toilet. I'm like, what? What's so good? But I did like just the mere fact I could not get excited. I did the most jigsaw puzzles in my entire life in that few weeks. Like I I am sick to jigsaw puzzles this day. Like, I was 4. I can barely remember it.
Your subconscious remembers it though.
I hate jigsaw puzzles.
It's kind of like me with the ocean. I can't go to the beach since I died.
The thing is too, though, which was I guess was the benefit of this. Since I could not get upset, I won every argument with my sister.
Oh yeah.
So, like, anything like my sister would like, it's like, but like I want to do this. I'm like, no, I want it. And mom would be like, Megan, let Mikey do that. He can't get upset. But like it was like 2 or 3 months after like I was clear to like I was fine, I was okay. I was still winning arguments just because my mom was still kind of traumatized for it, to the point where my sister like finally was just like, he's not sick anymore. Like she got so pissed about it. Which actually, that whole thing too, like I remember during like, just because the whole blood drawing thing, I had such an aversion to that. I remember my mom or someone watched a vampire movie, and that spawned a slight irrational fear of vampires, just the whole blood thing.
So she's not a twihard.
No, not my sister. No. This is way before Twilight, dude. I was 4. But what my sister would do, like after I was all better, she would my mom would like go into a store. She's like, oh, I'll go get a few things. I'll be right back. She would leave me and my sister in the car. My sister would like watch her go in, like watch her. She's in the door, or she goes into the thing. My sister turns around and starts going, like pretending to be a vampire, and it's like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop. Yeah, my sister picked on me a lot, I think, because of the.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. She as a sibling, she couldn't screw with you for the longest time, but then she's given.
See, looking back on it, I think she had the right.
Oh, you probably bastardized the whole thing too. I can see it.
Yeah, probably.
Like, you probably earned it.
How long have we been going, Mike?
Actually, like I forgot to stop the previous recording, so I'm guessing 45-ish minutes.
Okay. We're just going to keep this story time then. I doubt it's been that long, but we're just going to keep this story.
No,
Yeah,
I came in at 10:40.
Yeah, DA came. It's only been like 40 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Came in at 10:40.
that's about right.
I mean, we can go into editing. It doesn't.
No, we've got several stories. It might as well just be story time.
It might as well, but even though
I think that's going to be the title of this episode of story.
We don't
time.
really stick to the hour thing anyway, but I mean, we don't.
But I'm trying to think of anything else that's like fun like that, or at least just like weird stuff that happened to me, or just related to Kawasaki in general. Well, I had to
Kawasaki.
That's what the disease is called.
Right.
Kawasaki syndrome.
Right.
But I think to this day, although I've laxed on it, but it's a healthy thing to do in general, I'm supposed to take a child's aspirin every 3 days.
Still?
Yeah. It's just like I had to used to go to a cardiology every 2 year or every year, and then it was every 2 years, and then like they didn't notice anything wrong with my, because like the disease can sometimes affect your heart, like change it and make it malform. Mm. But they didn't find anything wrong with it after.
But isn't living on aspirin harmful to you?
Child's aspirin is a very, very, very low dosage, and it's good for your heart. Child's aspirin.
Right.
And actually, just since I took the stuff for pretty much all my fucking life, Bayer Cherry is my official recommendation for this.
Keep that in mind.
Everything else tastes like ass. Bayer Cherry actually tastes like, candy, at least. A little bit.
DA, what story do you want to go into?
Oh,
we got several.
Uh-oh.
I brought up the camp thing, so you pick.
We're going to do the us getting stopped by Jesus freaks on our way to the store.
Oh, God, I've got one of those myself.
This is not like Jehovah's Witnesses coming up to us like, hey, here's a pamphlet. No.
This was like a giant, like, church field event trip thing.
Was it like the Westboro Baptist Church or something?
It was just a regular, like, church gathering. We were on our way to, like, Kroger or something in Atlanta. And we were walking by, and we saw this festival. We were like, should we cross the street? No, why would we cross the street? So we just kept going. And there's this dude on the mic, and he was talking on the mic, blah, 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 blah. This other dude comes up to us. Hey, young man, You want to speak over here? No, thank you, sir. No, come on, speak up. Tell them about Jesus and how good he is.
Dude.
So he pushes us to the mic, and the guy gets off like immediately. So we got nothing to think about.
There was no prep
It was like,
time.
oh, we have these two young men to talk about, how good God is. I went first, and I was like,
that's the kicker.
I was just saying things about what's going on in our life, and then I just throw God in there every now and then. It was so annoying. I went on for like 4 minutes.
It was terrible. Just
I
rambling.
give you-
Just rambling garbage, and then just throwing God up in there like, oh yeah.
I give you props
Yeah.
for actually improvising.
Yeah, that's serious improv right there.
So
Oh, here it comes.
So I get off the mic, and then DA gets on, and he's like,
Oh shit.
yeah, basically what my brother just said.
And I reiterate everything he said, almost word for word.
This piece of garbage. I had to get up here, talk to these Jesus freaks about this before we were allowed to go back on our way.
Really, and we got nothing for it.
We
You
got
think they gave
nothing.
us like a balloon or something.
We got
It was
dick
like
for
on your
it.
way. Oh. Okay, how about the family reunion?
Go ahead.
This has to be told. So,
Oh,
what was
boy.
it in Mississippi?
Mississippi.
Okay,
I will never forget this.
We go to a family reunion. I'm gonna fast forward to the good part.
Boo.
There was like this talent show type thing.
God.
Oh yeah, it's just bad. We're like what 9,
It was
8 or
around that.
9. We are youngings.
Rap battles.
No. Oh, it's so much worse. So embarrassing. So, our aunt, you know how moms talk up the children, like, oh,
Of course.
young Albert is such a good singer, and King is in modern dance, so they're such a duo. So our aunt comes up to us, it's like, it's time for you to showcase your talents, and we're just sitting there like, what?
We're trying to eat breakfast.
Really? It was like, go on, it's your turn. And then they get on the mic, it's like, we got these 2 young men from Detroit.
Representing Detroit, because they brought in
Representing
kids.
Detroit.
They brought in the kids from like every city for our family reunion, and it was like representing such and such, representing such. They literally pushed
we
us.
are being pushed.
They literally
It's not
pushed.
It's like, no, it's like we're struggling against, and they are pushing our backs. Oh, so I remember we just looked at each other for like half a second because we had nothing.
They didn't
There was
forewarn
no
us.
planning, nothing. So BG,
Being in
Being-
school,
it's
in school they put me in some type of choir where I learned the "I Believe I Can Fly" song.
okay.
And
R.
DA,
Kelly.
and DA being in modern dance, while I was singing "I Believe I Can Fly," danced interpretively to the lyrics of "I Believe I Can Fly."
Flapping the arms and all.
Apparently, there is video of
There is
this.
video.
Oh God.
Wait.
In the amount of
Please tell me you can get it.
Get this immediately. I want this.
we don't know who has it, where it is.
We are not seeking this footage out.
Yes, you are. This needs to be found.
Yes.
They-
The entire song.
They
BG does.
applauded it.
If you guys, hey, if you guys can find that and post that, I will gladly put my dance recitals online from when I did dance.
No deal.
Wow.
It's that bad.
Full song, and we just like shuffle off stage.
We were done. I wasn't even hungry anymore.
Yeah, so we just go back to the hotel room, and we lock the door because we're like, we don't. Nobody sees us.
Apparently, we won.
Yes, Jesus, how bad
Wow.
were these other kids?
I don't know, dude. Apparently, we won.
I believe.
Apparently,
I can
we were the only
fly.
ones that got real reactions with the clapping and
I
everything.
can touch the skies.
So we're sitting there, we're watching Mr. Bane. We fall asleep.
Mr. Bane.
Mr.
Bean.
Rowan Atkinson, the
British show.
British show.
Hilarious show.
Your dance was perfect.
So we got the chain on the door, so they can push it in, but it's just it's right there. So we're knocked out. Apparently, while we're knocked out. They're beating on the door, trying to get in. They think we're dead of heart attack. But they're beating on the door. One of us just woke up and unlocked it, like, what's going on? It's like, you're not dead? It's like, no,
We're
sleep.
sleeping.
Oh, that was such a bad everything. Oh, why would they do that to us?
Dude, why would they give us time to rehearse it? Or be like, you know what, we're gonna have you kids do this. Something. They just literally shoved us on
Yes.
stage. They
And
put us out
and
there.
PG had the mic, and I was just like, I guess he's singing. What am I gonna do? Dance, I guess. I believe I can fly. Flap my arms, touch the sky, reach up.
I'm not gonna lie. I have an image. Who did you watch The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes.
Do you remember when it was Will Smith and his cousin doing that that dance contest?
Yes.
That's I have the image of in my head for you too.
Douchier.
So
Children.
This is like one of, with beyond the actual bad memories, this is probably one of my worst memories.
And there are like 100 people there. We know about 16. It's just strangers that they say are family.
Hooting us on.
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
let's see. Can I think of an? I have a couple embarrassing stories about myself.
Okay.
When I was a
Has
kid,
one more after you.
okay. When I was a kid, I took things very literally. Very literally. Like, just for example, in kindergarten, when my teacher would say, like, okay, here's your homework for you to do tonight. Keyword in that phrase is tonight. When I would get home, my mom would be like, okay, you need to do your homework. I'm like, no, 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 no. My teacher said I have to do it tonight. She's like, you can do it now. My teacher said I have to do it tonight. Like, it got so bad to the point my mom was just like, my teacher, she's like, okay, can you please tell my son he can do his homework when he can get home? Because he said you told him to do it tonight. So, and this me taking things literally, it happened well into my teens. To the point where I'm playing catch with my dad, baseball. And, like, he's throwing pop flies to me. And I have my elbow kind of, like, out to the side when I'm catching the pop flies. And my dad's like, hey, your elbow's out. You should tuck your elbow in. So, what that means is, instead of having my arm horizontal, it just put my arm vertical with my elbow facing down to the ground. I took that as literally tucking my elbow next to my side. So my dad throws a pop fly and was like, right in the face.
Seriously, Mike?
Yep.
Are you that like common sense at that age or what?
I was a very literal person. I'm trying to think of other things.
I'm
Most
gonna
of the
call
stuff
that
is
a
like,
dumb person.
no, literal. I was very book
You
smart.
let a ball hit you in the face,
dude.
rather than attempt to catch it.
I have had probably every ball of every sport hit me in the face. I can say that. Take that as you may. Take that as you may.
Oh, Mike takes balls.
Actually, if you're going to that thoughts too. Speaking of dance, my dad thought dance was going to turn me gay.
I don't blame him.
He tried to dissuade me very hard from
Yeah.
it. Only reason I did it was because I was freaking bored of watching my sister's recitals. The only reason, just because instead of just sitting there and watching, other people dance, I'm like, why don't I just do it? But I'm trying to think of other things. Go ahead with your story. Anyone else has a story while I try to think of other things embarrassing.
I think I've said most of my stories already.
I have a very bad. It involves.
I just have lots of bad memories. I mean, I've been chased by gators. Have I said that one? Oh no,
What?
here's one. All right, so back when I was maybe I think 9 or 10.
Down the swamp.
Yes, actually, I was living in Florida at the time, so I must have been 8 or 9. Actually, I had this good friend of mine named Kevin, and me and him would constantly go near this like plastic, those plastic like makeshift fences that are really low. They're not they're really meant to keep animals out of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so we would constantly be around there, and we'd collect like the used shotgun shells that were left because it was a hunting area. So me and my friend, we decided it's a glorious idea to trek into this place, into this wild forest swamp area where there are known, venomous snakes, creatures, and
Oh, adventures.
everything that is going to kill you. So
Yep.
me and him, we venture out. Well, first he ventures out, and I come out of my house there. He comes back carrying the snake. It was a harmless snake. I forgot what breed it was, but he was harmless. And he was like, "Oh, I found this in here. I went in there without you." I was so mad. I was like, "Oh, you went in without me? How could you?" So we decided we went in together. So we venture in maybe, thinking on it, 35, 40 feet, and we hear grunting. We're like, "What the hell is that?"
Like hissing.
No, grunting.
Oh.
And then we hear rustling of the grass. It's tall grass we're walking through. It's very tall grass.
Mm-hmm.
Rustling and more grunting. It's getting closer. So he looks at me dead in the eye. He's scared out of his mind. He's like, "I know what it is." I'm like, "What? What could it be?" "It's a boar. We gotta
It's a boy.
we gotta go. We gotta go." So we literally bolt. I'm talking full speed, just like Olympic Kenyan style running. We're out of there.
Were you the same or were you the same build as a
Nope.
kid?
I was a very thin, very athletic kid. I climbed trees like every day.
Okay.
I leapt over that green part of this fence, and we turned around. That hog was after us, tore right through this right through this orange fence, and was chasing us. So we were running. We ran from the tall grass. We ran by the lake, the alligator-infested lake where people had died in. We ran past there. The hog stops. And we went, "Oh, it stopped." We turn around. You know what's looking at us from the shallow bank of the lake? Gator heads, 2 of them.
Oh boy.
We
White people problem.
White people.
we ran from his place, from that bank of that lake, and we booked it again to his screened-in patio. We locked ourselves in his house, and we were just like, never again, never again.
I'm just imagining chasing 2 little kids.
Basically, actually, because one of them actually left water, and it was like half on the shallow land, half in the water. So it was kind of like it was having like an inner monologue. Do I want to eat these kids? Do I not want to eat these kids?
It would have been awesome
hog is good.
if you escaped, but your friend got
No, are you
wait no listen
right now?
This is a stupid analogy, but it came into my head and I have to say it now. If you got away, but your friend got pushed towards the lake, you know that YouTube video? It's like the Battle of something river.
No,
with the with the buffalo and the lions and the alligators. Yes. It was like the alligator was pulling your friend. You just came back in ah.
No. I was maybe I was a lot smaller back then. Yeah, no, it would have. It's not me now. It was me as probably the same size you were when you were that age, Mike. I really was not that big.
Huh.
Yeah, I was small. I was tall for my age, but I was relatively thin.
Yeah. You grew into yourself.
Oh
apparently.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, Da. Let's hear this.
This is actually a very painful story of mine. It happened maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm going to work. I'm at work. Pretty uneventful day. All of a sudden, I get this shooting pain in my balls. It is like the worst pain I've ever felt. It was just very sudden. Nothing happened. Boring.
You just say balls, and I can imagine the pain, but it just makes it humorous.
It gets worse.
Oh dear.
So I'm huddled over, oh, what is happening? Did I hit the edge of the board or something?
Huh.
And it's about time to close. We close. This 1 in a million thing happens, wherein the hood, where the broiler, it spits out smoke, and the hood it sucks in the smoke so it doesn't set off the alarms and all this other stuff. You have to clean it every night.
Yeah.
They shut off the hood, so no smoke is coming into the hood. It's just sitting there. So it starts to seep out. Once it seeps out, it hits the smoke alarm. Once it hits the smoke alarm, water comes down. But this time, well, like I said, 1 in a million times, it wasn't water, it was sewage.
Oh!
So fecal matter raining from the ceiling.
The fuck?
I'm sitting there, doubled over in pain, covered in crap. And I'm like, I have to clean all of this up. I can't even take a step. What am I going to do?
I mean...
Yes, this was the worst work day of my life. No matter what I say.
But you know,
that
that to me though sets a standard though, where it's just like if you're having a bad day, you can just go back to like, well, there was that one day.
Kill this.
Like I always say this. I'm always like, BG will be like, "Oh, you're sick. You shouldn't go to work." I said, "I'll be like, I went to work covered in crap with my balls hurting. I'm fine." That's always my level.
What was the explanation of the ball pain?
I'm getting to that. So I kind of like hitch my underwear up into my crack, and it kind of pulls my balls back, and I can walk fine, but not great. So I'm just like mopping crap, just with this sour look on my face. My manager comes. I was like, I'm really sorry about this, King, but you're the only one here. I'm like, yeah, just go away, please.
Just go away.
So I'm just I get done surprisingly fast, thank goodness. I wasn't there for a super long time. I get out of there, I go home. The next morning, not even hitching up my underwear makes it go away. I go up to my mom and I'm like, hey, we have to go to the hospital. This is unbearable. And she's like, what's wrong? She's like, and I'm like, my balls are killing me. She says, let me see them.
Are you serious?
And I said, no. Hospital. So we go to the hospital. That was a terrible ride because it was bumpy as crap. I'm like, just let a sniper's bullet take me out now. Let the cleansing Thor thunder come.
Let a sniper just shoot me in the testicles. It'll end pain.
So we get there. We get into the doctor's office. He's like, juggling the balls. I'm not even gonna sugarcoat this. He said, okay, this is either one of two things. He said,
I'm not even a hundo on this.
He was like, this is either just a mild infection. You take these antibiotics, you drink some cranberry, wear tight underwear, drink water, get some rest, and you'll be fine in a couple days. Or it can be a testicular contusion where we'll have to go in, cut your balls completely off. You'll never have children. You'll hardly be a man. One of the two. I'm like, I believe I can fly. So he's like, if it's not better, take these antibiotics, rest up, whatever. Come back in a couple days. We'll see what we can do. So I'm just like down in the antibiotics. I'm like drinking like 3 gallons of cranberry juice. I'm like laying down for 3 days. Like this isn't happening. But turns out it was just an infection. I was fine.
That's
a couple
good.
days later. Thankfully, I had the next day off from work. Otherwise, I absolutely would have went in because I'm just like that.
Idiot.
But yeah, that was the worst work day of my life. I'm like, either one of those events would have been terrible. Combined, it was awful.
Yeah, I don't think... Do you have something that can match that, Proceed? I don't... Besides my life-threatening illness, I don't think I have anything close.
I've been dead.
Continue.
I didn't tell the story to you guys yet, really?
You hinted at it when I said I had a seizure and my grandmother threw me. You hinted at it.
Yeah, no, I died. I was young, maybe 4 or 5, in between 4 and 6, I'm going to say, somewhere in that area. And my grandmother, it was a family trip to the beach in Florida. My grandmother decided to take me for a walk along the beach because my parents wanted to, have some time with my aunts and, drink and have fun. So I'm walking with my grandma, and we get maybe 40 feet away, and my grandma looks down the beach and sees a colorful mass on the sand. She points it out to me. Oh, Ralphie, look, it's a balloon. It's a balloon. Look at the balloon, Ralphie. I uh,
Oh,
I, I, I go running over to the balloon. It wasn't a balloon. I woke up
It was
a
a
long time.
gator.
I woke up a long time later in a hospital bed. Turned out that what it was actually a man o' war, which is basically a super jellyfish.
Ooh. Ooh.
My heart was stopped for a whole 3 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, scariest day of my parents' life.
Now, here's the question. Did you see anything? Bright lights, Jesus himself, grandmother.
I guess this will only further my own image at the moment. No, just darkness.
See?
I just
There's nothing after this, people.
it was like
There's nothing.
I literally I woke up and it was just like, oh, I guess I fell asleep. Because I didn't dream. I just fell asleep. And they're like, nope, no, your heart stopped for 3 minutes. Anything? I was just like, my mom was just like right there crying her eyes, and my dad basically kicked down the door because it wasn't opening fast enough for him to get back in the room. And my dad is not a small was not a small man by any means, and he just basically like kicked down the hospital door. He was like, "What's wrong with my son? What's going on?" Yeah, he saw I was awake, and yeah, he was very happy. But yeah, it was weird. I woke up in a sand patch or something like that because it was a special sand solution that's supposed to draw out the venom through my skin or something like that. I forget what exactly it was, but apparently they couldn't get the thing off of me until they actually got me to the hospital. So I was getting its venom pumped into me for a long time because the thing had tentacles that were just wrapped completely around me, and it dug itself into my skin. So I do remember this small burning pain before I passed out, but that's really it. Probably the worst thing you can possibly imagine. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
No, ball injury, crap everywhere.
Yours was quick. Dude.
Really, mine was
Eh,
agony
I mean-
amongst agony.
But I was dead.
There was no pain in that.
Me and you have clearly different understandings of the word dead. As in fully. 3 minutes. No heartbeat.
You're here now.
Yeah, much to your dismay, I bet.
I almost lost my balls.
Life.
Almost lost my life. Technically did. Came back.
Stronger than ever.
Well, I mean, isn't the man's balls his life? In all honesty.
There are fake ones for that now.
He comes back as Superman. He has powers.
I have
Everyone's doing
I
it.
have the
Nobody's getting
I have
them.
the power to absorb misery and to interrupt BG and DA.
He just didn't know it for about 20 years.
I have the power to interrupt.
Oh God. Let's see.
That's
Embarrassing
striking in
stories
the
for
background if you
me.
can hear it.
Thing, BG? Yeah.
There was the time I missed Christmas break because of my
Oh,
asthma.
Jesus. This boo-hoo sob
Dude,
story.
I'm sure-
Christmas asthma. I got the black lung. Shut up with that garbage.
Dude.
You know how many times we had to hear that when we were children?
Dude.
I was just sitting around. I missed Christmas because I was at the hospital. Shut up! I'm trying to feed my dog.
Dude,
He just bring that crap up and just like, man, I missed the ice cream truck. Well, I spent Christmas in the hospital. Shut! You can't use that always. And there was that time where there was pizza and I was across the street and you piece of crap. I still remember that.
I remember that. You wouldn't even know it if I hadn't told you
piece
though.
of crap. This is just a small story. Our mother was making pizza and
No, that's not what it was. There was one like pizza thing left.
And our mother was like, go ask me if I want.
Go ask Bane if he wants one. If he wants it.
And he saw me across the street. He just stood there, went in the house and said, no, he doesn't want it.
I didn't. Oh, you're mistelling the story. I cut my hands over my mouth like I yelled at you without saying it.
Garbage. And he took it for himself.
That's right.
I still remember that to this day. Because I remember you said it like this. I'm like, what is he doing? What'd you say? Nothing. You didn't want it.
Oh, I just remembered a story. Oh God.
Great.
Quick question though, just for the overall thing, do I win with my story so far?
It depends on your definition of winning.
You were too young to remember this. I was fully aware of the pain.
I was fully
Fecal
aware
matter.
as well. I just
Fecal
remember. I
matter.
just recounted the whole story to you.
Fecal matter.
Death. Death.
Crap.
Ugh.
I
Yeah,
say
bro.
I'm top. I say
Out of
It's
out of
just
all
I feel like
funniest
it's
story goes to DA and his Catholic clown rapist.
all right.
Worst
So
story goes to me. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
no,
I got a
no,
story.
no.
Depending on your reactions, this might be funniest. I don't know, or most funny. So I was at like this like fitness center or whatever, swimming, and like I was practicing swimming on my back, and at the end of the pool there were these people doing jazzercises, and Dad was just watching me from the side or whatever, and blah blah, I was swimming, and I just started swimming backwards. I'm just like, I'm just gonna swim really far, and I'm swimming. I look over and I see my dad like waving his hands, and like my ears were underwater, so couldn't tell what he was saying. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what. And all of a sudden, it went dark, and like for about a good 5 seconds, and like it was one of those things where then like I came up from the water. I'm like, well, what's going on? So what happened was I'm swimming backwards, and my dad's watching me, and I am swimming towards the jazzercisers.
I feel like I know where this is going.
And I guess there was this really old woman who was well endowed. And my dad saw me making a line straight towards her. My dad's trying to tell me, like, stop. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And he said my head went in
Seriously?
straight into her cleavage. My head, like, disappeared.
Well then.
That was the darkness. Like my dad likes to embellish the story when he tells it to. He's like, yeah, when he like came out, there was like a noise. It's like air.
I have this really quick story about my eyes.
I also have a quick story after you.
My grandmother, this was back when I was living with her. She took me to the, you know how when you're in school you have to get your eyes checked, your hearing checked, all this good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they do the eye test on me. They do my left eye, it's perfect. They do my right eye, it's crappy. So they do a couple more tests and they say, you have 2200 vision. And I'm like, 200? That's a lot. So I ask her, so does that mean I can see through walls? And she said, sir, you can't even see a wall. And my grandmother, about 62 at the time, she just starts laughing. And I'm looking at her like, really? You're hurting my feelings.
DA still had feelings at the time? Blasphemy.
2200
Feelings
vision.
of pain.
My eye is terrible.
So
Son, you can't even see the wall.
they used to give me all the time when I recounted that. So you can't even see the wall.
That's brilliant.
So I'm working like a year and a half with my
Give me your
boss.
cup.
We're working on this one of his businesses. We're remodeling the place.
No.
One of the places he just bought. We're adding a room and some other crap.
What?
What?
So get it.
Oh,
He's talking
I
about other
thought-
people.
nonsense. Anyway, he's like, his wife comes. She's talking to him, blah, 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 blah. I'm working in the back. I'm working in like the bathroom, tiling it up. And he walks back there. He's like, hey, man, I'm going to be gone for like 30 minutes to an hour. I'll be right back. I say, okay. So at the time, I had really bad diarrhea. And the bathroom I was working on,
no.
it did not work. No, this isn't going where you think it's going. I guarantee it.
It never does.
So the bathroom I was working on, it did not have working plumbing, but the building next to it did. He also owned that building, and I'd go in there to either get some water or something. So I wait like 4 minutes, like, okay, he's probably gone by now. I rush over to the other place, burst open the back room, and he's having sex with his wife.
Dude.
I look over, he was like, oh man, what the? I ran into the bathroom.
I just need to take a crap.
I took a dump. I
fell asleep trying to be quiet.
I came out like 6 minutes later. He was fully clothed. The wife was gone. No mention of this at all.
Hello, Albert. Get back to work.
We just
Good day, sir. Nice weather.
We went back. We started working, and he was like, "We were just working for like another 2.5, 3 hours."
He just go, "Hey yo, you ain't see right."
So we're in his car. He's like, "Come on, I'll drop you off at the bus stop." I said, "Sure." His car wouldn't start up. I was like, "I don't want you to be here in this bad neighborhood with all these people. Maybe I'll wait for you for your sister to come." And he was like, "No, you can go ahead." I started to get out. He's like, "Hey, don't tell anybody about this." I was like, "Oh, okay." And I just walked away.
I will murder you. I have ties. Wow.
Would it be like, so, you impressed?
How about a little bump in the paycheck, eh? You're fired. No, sir, please, I need this job.
No.
Hey, I still work for the guy, so.
Funny thing is, Kirk from Good Burger, his name was Kirk. My boss's name is Kirk.
Of course. Don't tell me you sometimes do the dialogue in your head.
I do, because he comes around sometimes. From now on, your life is Burger King. You can forget about your friends. You can forget about your family. Because Kirk is now both your mother and your father. And I do this back and walk sometimes. I'm just like, oh, Jesus. What am I doing?
Boy. That's good. I don't really have a lot of bad work stories because I tend to work alone. And I just have my headphones going and I'm working.
I've just had some unique stories, like the day I spent an entire work shift chasing a bird in Kmart.
Oh, our mother is deathly afraid of birds.
Deathly.
She's afraid of birds and Mrs. Butterworth.
Mrs.
And the Statue of Liberty.
Mrs. Butterworth.
The syrup.
Yes, I know, but Mrs. Butterworth.
I can tell you why if you like.
Yes, I'd like to hear
when
why.
she was a kid, there was the Mrs. Butterworth commercial. And Mrs. Butterworth would always come alive, but only when the children were alone with her. So my mom got so scared of being alone with Mrs. Butterworth that she started coming alive and saying, "Hey, Margaret, how you doing?"
Pour me on pancakes.
That she can't be around it. So this was like
Are you gonna tell the pancakes?
yes, this was like 8 years ago.
I knew it.
There was the church function that was having a free all you can eat pancake thing. We walk in, we get, two of us run to a table and we sit down. My mom walked to the table. She's like, "Oh!" She turns her back so quick. She's like, "We're not going to that table. We're going to this table over here," because Mrs. Butterworth was on it. Dude, it's amazing.
I do love some parents. My dad gets, this is a personal experience as well as other things. My dad can get angry pretty quickly. Like the first time, it's mostly on vacations I find this too, where I see like he's at his angriest, which kind of seems reverse. But I was like 11 years old. We were on a cruise, and you have your card.
Of course you were alone.
The second part of the story is a different cruise, so I'm just gonna get that part out of the way. But so you have like these your ID cards, which essentially is your room key and what gets you back on the ship for every time you port. And I was like 11. I'm like, "Dad, I want to hold my card. I want to hold my card. I want to hold my card." And he's like, "No, no, no, no." And finally, when I'm like, "Dad, can I please hold my card?" He's like, "Okay, don't lose it." So finally, I have my card. I'm like all happy, I'm like, "Oh, I'm a big boy, yay!" Whatever. But almost lose it on the beach. Like, I'm sitting on the shore, and waves are coming up, and I look to my side and I see my card going into the ocean. I grabbed it there. But we went to like another island via the island we were on, and I think it was either on the taxi ride to the ferry from, the other island, or on the ferry, I lost my card. And we're all like about to get in the ship, and we're like, all right, does everybody have their cards? And then like I'm patting my pockets, I'm like, oh no. And my dad's just like, was like, Mikey, what's wrong? I'm like, I lost my card. And he wasn't mad really at that point. He was like disappointed. He's like, okay. And then I say, but it's not my fault.
Oh boy.
You never want to say that.
It's like one of the worst lines you can say.
That means it's absolutely your fault.
The volcano, like, my dad was like simmering with me losing it. The volcano erupted. What do you mean it's not your fault? Like screaming in my face. Like I'm just sitting there in this like little stool, just like, this is like, I'm assuming people like around us are like, okay, let's get away from the angry. This is like abusive father's about to strike or something. Like I just got laid into, like to this point where with my dad, that is like my dad, my step family, that is a line. It's not my fault is now like a saying in our family.
Oh my god, I believe it.
Because of me. Actually, we kind of like got my stepsister back where like in the next cruise, my younger stepsister had her card and she lost it. And the whole time she's like, well, you see, this happened and this happened. My dad's just like sitting there just like, what are you trying to say, Jillian? She's like, it's not my fault. I was like, yes. But
say the line. Say it.
The whole anger thing with my dad. So this is the second to last cruise we went on. It was like the last cruise with like my older step siblings. And we're on this taxi ride and pretty much we're going on this excursion where we landed on one side of the island and like in order to get to the ferry that takes us to this other small island, you literally take a straight shot across the island. Like it should be about maybe like a 15-minute taxi ride. Like we get on this taxi first, and then another family gets on. And their stop is on like taking the long way, like around the island to get to our place. And that's the route this taxi driver takes, is the long way. And the entire time, my dad's just sitting there like, could just went straight across the fucking island. I'm just sitting there like, oh no. Dad's about to have words. And my older stepbrother was like, Mike, let me handle this. And my dad's like, no, I got it. I got this. I'm just like, oh no. And we get off, like we finally get to our spot. He get off the taxi and the cab driver's just like, oh, thank you. And just like, my dad's like, listen, buddy, we gotta talk. I'm just walking away at this point. I'm like, this is not gonna be good. Taxi driver's just like,
good, Mr. Taxi Man.
That's pretty much what I was about. Like, that's what I wanted to say. And the guy's just like, sir, you owe me this. My dad's like, no. You owe me money. I'm like, oh no. My dad just started laying into this guy. Like, literally, our whole family's walking away at this point. We're just like, bye.
You don't know this man. You're actually held captive by him.
And like the guy's boss comes around. We're just like at this point, we're like, Dad, it's not a big deal. We're here. Just let's go. You owe me money. We can restrict us. And it's like, oh my god. Yeah, my dad gets angry very easily.
I got another really quick one.
All right.
So I always go to the store because I've always been like a really good shopper.
I am.
Yeah.
I am a man.
BG is like a maggot. He is awful at shopping.
He's a dude.
Where's the eggs? It's next to the milk. Where's the milk? It's someplace cold. Over here, that's ice cream. It is? He's terrible.
I am an awful shopper. I'm a guy. I'm a true
You
guy.
don't have to be a guy to know how to feed yourself.
I know how to do shopping. I just walk up and down the aisles, though. I don't know where the sections are located.
So there's this super old lady with just like a full basket of stuff. She's no younger than about 80. and she's like pushing it ever so slowly to her car. And I'm looking around, I'm like, I don't see anybody here with her. So I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, do you need help putting that in your car? She's like, oh, yes, young man. And I put all the stuff in her car. And she's like, can you help me put it in my house as well? I'm like, sure. So I get in her car. She's a terrible driver, of course. She's old. She can't see. She's going like 5 miles an hour.
Let's get in a car with a stranger. It's cool.
I've done it before. I'll do it again. So we get to her house. I put up all of her stuff. She's a nice enough lady. She's not like our grandmother, where our grandmother was just a not nice lady. I'll take that to preserve her memory because she is deceased. But she's not a nice lady. She would yell about every little thing. But this lady was like, oh, could you please not put the sugar next to that? I'd like to be able to reach it. I'm like, oh, yeah, sure. So I get done with it. It's about a 10-minute process, maybe like a 5 to 7 minute walk to the store. So she's like, oh, thank you, young man. I have something for you. And I'm like, oh, no, nothing's necessary, man. She's like, no, I insist. She goes into her room for like 5 minutes. She shuffles back out with $1 and a peppermint. And I'm looking at it like, where's the thing you were going to offer me?
Don't spend it all in one place.
And I'm like,
Well, I mean, let's think about it. In her day, $1 could get you like a lot.
absolutely. So I'm just like, thank you, man. And I walk out. I eat
That's almost worse than not getting anything.
I would have preferred nothing. This is an insult. I should have just thrown it back in her hand, just cracked her skull. She's just bleeding out. Oh, I've fallen and I can't get up. Call the number on my bracelet.
Should have bought Life Alert, bitch.
Just take her food. My food, punk.
This is my reward.
Take your pictures of your grandchildren.
But that actually reminds me of something funny. Actually, I'm gonna tell this story, and then we should get to the YouTube thing, and then we'll end the stream. But so I was working shipped to Kmart with my buddy Mason, who used to work there, and we are technically, air quotes, not supposed to accept tips for anything we do at Kmart. Yep. However, when you load a giant fucking patio set into somebody's car, it's nice to get paid for it. Those things are actually, let me phrase that, pools suck. They are the heaviest thing in the store. You need like 3 people to carry it, and not easily either. But I was working garden shop, and a little earlier in that day, I think I was on my lunch or something, my friend Mason comes up, he's like, dude, I'm so pissed. I'm like, what? He's like, I just loaded like 30 bags of mulch into this lady's car. She was about to tip me like $5 to $10. And our service desk person came out. Was just like, oh, no, we're not supposed to accept tips. I'm like, oh, that sucks, man. And about an hour later, the lady comes back. She's like, yeah, I'm getting another 30 bags of mulch. I was like, oh, okay, I'll load it in your car for you. So I'm loading in my car, and my friend Mason is sitting a little bit off to the side with his girlfriend came to the store, and he's on his lunch break. Just like hanging out with his girlfriend. And loaded 30 bags in. Lady's just like, yeah, I'm not supposed to do this, but here's $10. I'm just like, thank you, man. I just turn around and my friend Mason, I'm like, fuck you.
That's brilliant.
Like, I just walk by, she's like, you son of a bitch. I'm like, it sucks to be you. It was awesome. It was like one of those perfect moments. It's like it couldn't have been planned better. But yeah. Definitely. Actually, I think the description is like way the pride of story time for this episode, but I think the title is 2200 Vision.
Another cop rose.
It's not funny. I can't see out of my right eye at all.
That's just it's such an out there thing though.
YouTube paid channels.
It's either that or Man-O-War, but I think 2200 is more out there. But, so yeah, YouTube, for those people that haven't been paying attention to the news, YouTube is going to be having a paid subscription base for some of their channels. Coming out soon. So do you guys think we should go paid?
It's $1. It's starting at $1 for some channels. Some channels are more. It's mostly like kid shows and like self-help stuff for kids.
Is it like $1 a month or
Yeah.
something? Or
Some start
Okay.
at that. Some are like $3, $4 a month. I
Okay.
get in Netflix. But
That's true.
yeah, like a lot of these are kids, and kids want to see like Jim Henson and stuff.
So they're gonna do it.
They'll pay that $1.
Oh.
They know that the parents are
Hi,
gonna do
Nate.
it.
The parents are like, "Oh, it's
Nate's in
$1. Why
here?
not?"
You just put yup, go paid. Where the hell have you been?
I don't even see him
podcast.
chatting in here yet.
I see him in chat. Unless you refreshed it and then it went away. But yeah, just unless like
I heard Machinima's doing it, so that's gonna.
like
Oh, of course Machinima's doing it.
playing D
I
and D.
don't see them getting a lot of
Good job,
sales
Nate.
through that though, because a lot of the people that do it, that subscribe to them, are like 15-year-olds. They don't have credit cards or anything or PayPal.
Yeah, unless like for the subscription model, like the ones that do subscription, if it's like you pay one fee, it's not like a fee per channel. That would be stupid. If you like, I could see it being okay.
Yeah.
If it was just like, okay, you pay the one fee and then you have access to the premium
Like
channels.
HD channels for
Essentially, yeah. But
$1
yeah,
per
if it's like,
channel.
if it's $1 per channel, then that'd be stupid. But what else was I thinking? But yeah, just that's the one main thing of YouTube, because there are other video video websites that do that.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
They're not successful. The reason YouTube is so successful is it is a like open, free environment where people can just throw stuff up there and get instant notice within the occasional ad, which most people don't care about. Like, I think people got over there being ads in videos like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So, I don't see this model lasting very long at all. At all.
It depends on their target audience to me.
If they get enough
Yeah.
people paying, they will continue. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's no matter what.
I mean-
the what 20,000 that they were getting
Yeah.
at least. So
The thing
Why
is,
not?
are these videos gonna have ads on them?
Probably, yeah,
Mhm.
they still will.
Because if you're
Some of them actually were saying that the ads would be removed. I think like some of the higher priced ones, the reason it's higher priced is because the ads are removed.
So, I mean, I don't think it. I hope it doesn't succeed. But I mean, look at YouTube in the past. Like they've even how many times we've seen the YouTube channel itself change for no good reason, where it's done absolutely no good but done all the harm. So it doesn't
That's-
seem like YouTube's got its users, in its mindset, but it's still successful.
Thing is though, money was not involved with that.
it's just
That was just an aesthetic design.
And they
that
still
probably-
lost like a sizable base because it was just it's unusable now.
I mean, I would say the people that create the content, they're not really concerned about. It's the one-offers, the people that just, go to YouTube, they just
a
watch.
cat video.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's they more or less care about the view count and then how many ads are being seen. That you don't need an account for that.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but yeah, just like the changes in the design of the website, that was an aesthetic thing. They probably had a focus group, which for God knows why said it was good.
Because YouTube paid them to say it was good, or Google paid them to say it was good.
But yeah, it's so that didn't affect the consumer really on the sides of how you interact with it. When money is coming out of a pocket, that changes things a lot.
Ridiculous nonsense.
But what else? And proceed. Trigun is loud. Just to FYI. There we go. But I'm
They
trying to
would
think
be
of something
animal.
else. The Animu. They wanted to make all old video bumpers inaccurate. What do you mean by that, Mr. NG Silver? I is confused.
They didn't have MK.
But any other opinions on the BGDA?
It sucks.
No.
How far are they willing to take this?
Oh yeah.
Like, are they gonna have people like Smosh and Epic Mealtime? Are they gonna be paid channels or just like corporations?
I don't
It
know.
could be over a certain number of views per video. They give you the option. Like if the last 20 of your videos reached over 500,000, they're like, hey, would you like to?
Mm. That's stupid though. Why wouldn't you just take the views?
Given assumptions, it's
Make more money.
Will you? It depends on how many
I
videos
mean,
you're putting out.
if you have the view count. Oh, I think we'll save that for our blockbuster episode. We gotta wait a few movies before that.
It's Man of Steel.
I just
Man of Steel, Star Trek, Wolverine, yada
sorry,
yada.
I didn't mean to
But
interrupt you. I just saw this commercial that was before Iron Man.
okay. Just I mean, you're making the money off the views. You know, you get a certain amount of views, and then whatever. But then you're making money off the subscription.
Yeah,
More money.
just real quick, I know what Nate was talking about, basically.
Yeah, I saw.
He was just referring to the fact that people in the old days would say, oh yeah, click subscribe here, click like here, favorite. Meanwhile, a lot of these things are in different areas now, or it's a different format. So they've made all the old things, inaccurate.
Harder. But yeah. I think that about covers it. Just I'm hoping it fails.
I don't really say this for a lot of things. Because, people jobs
They
and
need
everything.
to realize not everything that they're doing is working.
Yeah. That's perfect. Not everything you do is working. Capcom.
It
Just
always
give me
goes
Google
back
Fiber.
to Capcom.
Dude, they expect Lost Planet 3 and Resident Evil Revelations to sell 1.2 million each. That's not going to happen.
How's the bad girl reaction?
Don't even mention this garbage.
I'm simply asking. I'd like to know.
It is overwhelmingly positive.
Couldn't be happier.
How was your work today?
Oh man. Almost got shot. Did I mention that?
Mm-hmm.
No one cared.
I looked out a door. That's as far as I'm going.
Wow.
But
shooting dude, you.
Yo.
I
Just say it. Just say it.
I didn't see nobody crawling in like the street or the sidewalk.
I didn't hear no help.
I saw like 4 cars go by and nobody stopped. So I was like, hey,
So
it
either
can't
it was
be.
Imagine
too
we get to
late
the-
or
can you imagine-
you just ain't trying enough.
can you imagine we get to the end of this podcast and DA's like, I almost got shot. He lifts up his shirt. Oh wait, I'm bleeding.
Help. Call the ambulance.
Someone called it Amber Lamps.
Wow, that's a callback.
Callback, throwback.
All right, so I think we'll end it there. Definitely, we're saving Iron Man for a later episode.
Oh yeah.
Once we get Man of Steel, Wolverine, Star
There
Trek,
are like
everything
5
else out the way.
blockbuster movies out though. That's coming out.
Elysium, and there's a few others.
Yeah.
Pacific Rim and what else?
The My
Yeah,
Little
so-
Pony movie.
I will spit on that.
And thank
Shut
you
up.
for tuning into the YouTube Perspective Podcast,
He's
everybody.
going to see it twice in one
Twice.
day, back to back.
Twice.
Brony.
No. There's
Yes.
gonna be
Yes.
apparently a lot of songs, and I'd like to take them all in since they're not going to be available anytime soon.
I'd like
Nate,
to
do you
hear
agree?
the song. Shut up. All right, guys. Later.
Nate, hold
Wait,
on.
what did
Nate,
say?
before we
Go to the stream.
Nate, do you agree that he's a brony? Please just answer.
Nate,
Honestly.
Nate, how do you feel about the movie? Are you going to see it?
He's going back to EQAD, whatever that meant.
No one's going to see this movie. It's gonna be
It's Dungeons and Dragons he's playing.
All right.
I don't think
Movie
atrocious.
question mark. He doesn't know about the movie, but it's a My Little Pony movie, and DA is going to see it twice in one day.
to back.
Brony, right?
Call Equestria Girls.
Oh,
Oh, it's you're seeing the
Brony.
But
Yep. There
that
we go.
movie is them as actual human morphs, right?
Yes, the design looks awful. Everyone hates it.
All right. Nate's going back to watch his Pony Prawn.
Everyone, I don't even like it, but I'm going to go see it
Twice.
twice
I'm not going to see Man of Steel twice.
because you're gonna hate it. You don't want it to earn money. I want this to earn money.
No, I don't.
Man of Steel's gonna be-
I wanted to succeed to see if people hop on Superman afterwards. Because everybody hopped on Batman
Shades.
as soon as the Dark Knight trilogy was going on.
All right.
I just want to see.
All right. I think we shall end it there. So thank you, everybody, for tuning into the YouTube Editor's Perspective podcast, episode 66. We will see you again next week.
Later, guys.